Welcome to CNBC.com. I'm Frank Collin, anchor of Worldwide Exchange. We are taking a look at the ETF market, which as of today has $1.13 trillion in net inflows, just a tick below the record set last year. And we are on pace for another record year this year. With that, I want to bring in my guest for today. It's Aniket Ulal of CFRA, head of their ETF business. Aniket, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Frank.
First off, let me talk to you about the fact that ETF inflows are going to hit a record for the second consecutive year. What do you think that says about the ETF market and the appetite for ETFs as opposed to single stocks?
I think it really shows that ETFs have become the investment vehicle of choice because we've seen ETF flows strong across the board, across multiple asset classes, and a lot of new product introductions. So I think it just shows investors like this vehicle for its tax efficiency and tradability.
All right, this week we've obviously seen a pullback in the AI trade. The top ETF inflows this week, of the top three, two of them are small cap ETFs. One is a corporate bond ETF. Does that surprise you at all?
Well, sometimes on a weekly basis, we do see some volatility. Overall, if we look at flows for this year, like you said, we're on track for hitting a record. I think we should cross the record sometime this week. We have seen some slight turn towards defensive sectors, healthcare on the equity side, and some bond ETFs, as you mentioned. So maybe the investors are starting to show some signs of moving into defensive sectors, particularly given the current context of the government shutdown. But 1 week is a short amount of time, so we need to see if that holds up over the next few weeks.
All right, you just mentioned the government shutdown. Obviously in the news as we hit a new record for the length of this government shutdown. Another area in the news is the pharmaceutical sector, with the White House taking some steps to reduce prices. And that's also part of the pick that you have for us today. Why don't you give us your pick and why you think this is a good buy right now?
The pick is PJP, and the reason we picked it is because CFRA recently upgraded the healthcare sector from an underweight to market weight. There are some sectors of healthcare that are still under pressure, particularly managed care, because they've been impacted by the One Big Beautiful Bill with reform to Medicaid. But we're more optimistic on the pharmaceutical and biotechnology side. This ETF holds stocks like Merck, Pfizer, Amgen, where we have either buy or strong buy ratings on the underlying stocks. And as you mentioned, Pfizer's recent agreement with the US government on most favored nation pricing provides more stability in terms of pricing, tariffs going forward, at least for some of the big players. And we expect to see other kind of pharmaceutical companies follow suit. So overall, we think this is a sector that's kind of showing some reversal from being an underperformer historically over the last year.
I'm just going by your pick of this particular ETF and the fact that you changed your rating on the entire healthcare sector. Do you see healthcare, gaining and accelerating their gains in the next coming months? Obviously, healthcare at one point this year was the laggard. It's gotten off laggard status, but still an underperformer.
That's true, but we have seen a better momentum. The sentiment has changed around healthcare, particularly in the pharmaceutical and biotechnology side. If you look at the last 3 months, actually, healthcare was the second best performing sector after technology. So certainly we have seen a rebound in terms of performance. Flows tend to lag performance, so we are seeing flows start to catch up as well. And if investors get more defensive, healthcare, as we know, is a classic defensive sector. So we are more positive on healthcare now than we were, let's say, 3-4 months ago.
Aniket Ulal of CFRA, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time and your pick. The Invesco Pharmaceuticals ETF PJP, thank you again. Thank all of you for watching CNBC.com. I'm Frank Collin, anchor of Worldwide Exchange. Have a great day.